My name's Peter Davies. I'm a professor at the University of Minnesota's College of Veterinary Medicine. The reason I went into veterinary medicines were probably several. My mother was a dog breeder, so I was around dogs as a very young child, but she was also brought up on a farm, so I spent a lot of time in my family's wheat and sheep farm, or my grandfather's farm, as a young child. So I had that combination of interest in all creatures, great and small, early in my life, and never really thought of another career. I graduated at a time where specialties weren't all that well developed in veterinary medicine, and people went to veterinary school very often with the idea that they would be working with all types of animals. And it reached a point where I'd been in practice and I was looking at doing something else, and I thought I'd just see what was available, and it just was by chance a research position related to swine health, and I took that opportunity and never turned back. 30 years later, I've been working in the swine area for most of my career, but it was a little bit of chance, and I think having just very broad interests where I could have easily have gone into lots of different areas and chose that one. The swine industry, particularly in the United States, it's been a very dynamic industry that's changed a lot, and the roles of veterinarians have changed a lot over time. Because I'm in an academic position, my own research area has been predominantly in the area of infectious disease epidemiology and diseases transmissible from pigs to people, particularly foodborne diseases and also some direct zoonotic diseases. I've always been interested in the veterinary public health piece. That's been my own niche from a teaching point of view, which is another part of my job. We think it's important to educate veterinarians generally about all species, but including swine, so that even our companion animal veterinarians have some understanding of the broader aspects of animal production and the food production system, because they communicate to clients quite a lot. So we're looking at educating our students broadly, but those few students that are each year that are really interested in a career in swine medicine, we obviously work really hard with them to give them the tools they need to be successful in what's become a very, very specialised and demanding role, particularly as farms have got bigger. I think the most rewarding aspects of our work are interactions I have with swine veterinary communities. We do quite a lot of outreach, and we learn a lot from the veterinarians who are out there working at the coalface. We have a very strong interaction with veterinarians working in the industry at our university, and that is, I think, enriching both ways, from exchange of information and keeping everyone current. I think I've always enjoyed teaching and seeing enthusiastic young students getting more and more motivated to enter and start their career and follow their progress over time. So I think it's really rewarding to see people who've known as freshmen in veterinary school emerge, and I've been around long enough they've become leaders of the industry and leaders of the profession, and that's a lot of fun. My expectations, I think, were very naive when I went into veterinary school. I was actually just 17 years old when I started, and we had the James Herriot picture of idyllic lifestyle. I think I did actually live like that for a little while and enjoyed that benefit, but I think in all areas of life, as time's gone by, expectations have gone up, clients' demands have raised the bar. So I think for today's students that are graduating and going out into the world, I think there's a level of expectation that's perhaps a lot higher than it was when I started 40 years ago. So I think there's sort of greater pressures on the students now. And the other thing, obviously, that's part of that is the specialisation piece, because we went to school trying to learn about everything, and now there's just so much information that it's really important to people to find their niche and find something that they, I think, feel very competent about. All the other things are just to make your life more interesting, I think. But I think everyone really needs to find that thing that they really like to work on, their passion, and that makes your professional life a lot more rewarding and in some ways more bearable. Make sure you've got a life, and I think I've known some of my colleagues who have been fantastic veterinarians and maybe neglected the other parts of their life, be it your family life, be it your hobbies, your interests. I'm a frustrated musician myself, so any time I get, that's what I like to do. I like to spend time with my wife, my sons, and just keep a balance there. I think a healthy job environment enriches your private life and the other way around. So for young people, particularly starting out, I think there can be a lot of pressures to meet meet the bar, meet the expectations. Just remember that everyone's human and we all need to keep in a healthy equilibrium in what we're doing. The things I like to do in my spare time, my number one passion is music. I like to exercise as well. I swim a lot. Swimming's sort of my main physical release. My wife and I, we like to bike and we like to hike. Even though we're getting on in years, we try to keep as active as we can physically. We have a couple of sons and friends. Friends are really important to you in all stages of your life. Our biggest pressure is time, and I think that's an issue for a lot of people in modern life. It's not that you've got lack of interest, you've got lack of time to get to them. So I guess the important thing is that you do force yourself to find time for particularly the people that are important to you and the things you really like to do for fun. Yeah, I've been aware of the Merck Veterinary Manual, my whole career. I received an invitation probably 5 or 6 years ago about whether I might be interested to do this, and then took the opportunity to say yes, and so I've had some involvement over the last 5 years. It was really a shot out of the blue for me in terms of I wasn't expecting it, but it's been a very positive experience for me, and so I'm glad I had that good luck. My role is specifically related to swine health, swine medicine, and that's becoming a more and more difficult task because many universities now do not have programs with specialty faculty that are working on pigs. We have a shrinking pool, both nationally and internationally, of people working in academia related particularly to swine health. We're a small community, we know who the experts are, and it's really being able to encourage the people who we think are most qualified to be able to provide the best content and get them involved.